Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Chanel E. Martin, and I am the founder of Beyond the Book Media and co-founder of Kingdom Business Network. And I'm really excited because we haven't done one of these author chats in such a long time, but we are having a conversation on how to be unstoppable. And so I have the amazing privilege to get some gems from a phenomenal individual, Miss Adria Marshall. So this is what I need you to do. Okay. I need you to go ahead, get a pen and paper. I need you to share because I am getting ready to bring up just an amazing woman. I am about to share her bio. I know I got it. I'm about to share her bio, but she's actually a client of Beyond the Book Media, and she has a book that when I read it, y'all, I was like, oh my goodness, I absolutely loved the content in her book, and we have the wonderful privilege of helping her to create an amazing journal, well, actually workbook planner that is going to really help you navigate and become unstoppable. So, Adria Marshall, she's an entrepreneur, she's a wife, and she's a caretaker, and she is a graduate of the University of Alabama College of Engineering. And so she built her career on solving complex problems. Okay. She is the founder of Eco Slave, which is a plant-based hair care company. And also she is the author of Unstoppable, the book and the planner. So I'm going to bring her up in just a minute. But as you are coming on in, hey, good morning. If you're in, can you just give us say something in the chat and say good morning? And where you are tuning in from. And I don't know, I'm gonna bring Adria up real quick. Good morning, Adria.
Morning,
So
Chanel.
I don't know if you did you know that I am an engineer as well. I'm an engineer by
Yeah,
trade.
yeah.
Okay, yes, so we have that in common. So let me tell you something about us engineers. We are very methodical and how we approach. And
Mm.
so I have a lot of people that work with me and they they love and hate working with me because I'm so system and process oriented in the way that we approach in the way that I approach things. And so I'm really excited to have this conversation. All right, so we have good morning from Minnesota, good morning from Charlotte, hey Alabama, and look, so you said you went to the University of Alabama, so are you like a big Alabama fan?
Huge Alabama fan, for
Oh, okay,
better
you
or
do you
for
got
worse.
okay, so you got the are you like roll tide?
Oh, roll tide all day, all day.
Okay, so funny story. My husband, he's from Alabama, so he's a really big even though he got his degree from Auburn, I just have to throw that out there because but he's a real big Alabama fan. And one day I didn't have my hair was a mess. I put his hat on, y'all. His Alabama hat on. That was the first hat. So I was so confused as to why people and we're in Atlanta. People are like roll tide. I'm like, roll tide? And then I was like, oh, this hat on. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just pass it on to you really quickly. If you can tell them a little bit more about who you are and your inspiration behind writing this book and creating this planner and just everything that you do.
It's been such a journey, and I think, as with many things that's happened in my life has been an organic experience. I never really set out to create a book necessarily. I am an entrepreneur quite by accident. I created a hair product because I am an engineer, right? And so when I saw that these products on the market weren't designed for my hair type, the ingredients were awful, then as the engineers, what we do, like, let's go problem solve, right? And so, like, okay, I learned I can turn around the jar and see what's inside of this product. And then I'm learning, okay, well, here are the 5 products that kind of work for my hair. What do they have in common? They have these ingredients in common. Oh, they're plant-based. Great. Because I don't even like these other ingredients anyways. Let me go to my farmer's market. So that's how it started happening. Let me go on YouTube, learn how to boil and strain and mix. So I just messed around and came up with a product that went viral and was thrust into my entrepreneurial journey. And and then when I think about that and my journey with motherhood, my journey as a wife, It's been a lot about setting intentions, being locked in on my purpose, putting one step in front of the other, being consistent. And so I'm 50. And when I just think about my background and all the things that I've had to learn to navigate, there are just some commonalities. As we in engineer, we identify patterns, right? So there were some patterns there. And because I'm a Christian as well, then I believe that these things are not accidental or coincidental, but God has intentionally designed things. And God is like God, I say God is an engineer. Obviously, He created everything. And when you look at the world, there's systems in place. The sun goes up, the sun goes down. You have your seasons. And there are laws that are involved. There's a law of the harvest. They're like laws that are put into place that whether you're a believer or not, you still take advantage of these things. You still take advantage of gravity, whether you believe it or not. You still take advantage of the seasons, whether you believe it or not. And so I realized that these laws and patterns aren't just limited to the harvest, to our finances. Like they apply to me and how I think. And so just through the years and putting all these pieces into place, realizing that we as engineers, we're always trying to automate things. If something happens more than once, let's put a process around it. And so just that mindset of thinking helped me drill down to what is inside of this book. And so when it really came down, I think I wrote the book in like a couple of months when it came down to it, because it took years for me to really process all these concepts and to wrap my head around it. So as I mentioned in the book, just on the quest of trying to be as productive as possible, because I was a single mom. I'm super busy as an entrepreneur. I'm now married with 3 kids. So you have all of these things that you're trying to do, and you're trying to balance yourself, not lose yourself in the process. You got to get your sleep. You got to drink your water. You got. And there's only 24 hours in a day. So how am I going to get all of these things done without losing my mind? And it became really obvious to me that the best way to do this is to tap into the mindset of the creator of all of this and to really line up with what my purpose is, because there's something that we in software development call getting into a flow. And you know that when you're in a flow, that you're not really working because you're just in it, right? And so if you can just stay in it, then it's no longer work, because like everything is just coming to you. Everything is just coming to you. So how can you get into that to make your life happy and fulfilling? I hope that all makes sense.
That absolutely makes sense, and this is phenomenal. There were so many things that you touched on, and I want to talk to those of you that are watching. I always talk about beyond the book, right? And going beyond the book, and one of the things that who we target as Beyond the Book Media is we target entrepreneurs, brand people like yourself. Like you have an expertise, you have wisdom, you have a word in you, right? Because that book was a whole word. And sometimes we may not consider ourselves authors at first, but we have wisdom and knowledge that we are supposed to give. Like God gives us divine revelation, not just for us to keep to ourselves. And so I'm very grateful that you invested the time to capture that content so that the rest of us can benefit. And then one of the things you said also that I can relate to. So I have a planner journal called the God Bless the Sky. It's my prophetic journal, and it was birthed the same way. It was me figuring out how I hear from God, how I stay obedient and consistent with the things that God tells me. I was like, well, I get up and I ask him and I journal them. And then I made it available for people to purchase and come into my world, and their lives have been transformed. So that's what I want y'all to get, why you can't sit on your wisdom, why you have to write the book, why you have to publish the book. So my question for you is, tell us, you gave us a little bit about the book, and I know you wrote the book, and I love that you have the planner to go with it. So you're not just giving us the information, you have a guide. Can you tell us who the book is for? Tell us about your book and who the book is for.
So the book and let me back up to something that you said. I, I'm a Virgo, and we as Virgos, we have all of our soapboxes and our pet peeves. One of my main pet peeves is that someone, and this is in the Bible as well, someone is going through something, and you're like, you are in my heart and mind. You know, I no, I don't need to be in your heart. Thank you, but also help me improve, help me get better. Can you help me? Like, I don't like empty words, empty promises, just thoughts and prayers. No. And so the book was to lay down the foundation, right? And the book is for anyone who's tired of being exhausted. That's who the book is for. Anyone who has tried to do things on their own, you're watching the videos, you're supposed to get up early, you're supposed to meal prep, you're supposed to go to bed early, you're supposed to eat better, and you've been trying to do it. You want to start a business, you want to be a better employer, better employee, a better wife, but you can't do it. You've tried and you can't do it. That is who the book is for. So the book is for not someone who is just comfortable. If you're just comfortable, then this book is not for you. But
it's gonna make you say ouch. I was reading it and then it was like you read my mind. I said, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me reel on back.
And the book is for some people who are open-minded as well. And so another one of my pet peeves are closed-minded Christians. By the book Christians. I call them Pharisees. That's who, in my opinion, Jesus came to turn over, right? People who had taken the spirit of the law and distorted it. And so people who believe, oh, you cannot. And so those who are quick to dismiss other thoughts, I believe that there is value in other perspectives, even if you don't believe all of it. And so that's why I kind of dive into Eastern thought a lot, because in my quest for sanity, I learned about setting intention. I learned about meditation. I learned about breathing exercises. I learned about yoga, and there's value in those things. And so what I did, rather than being a Christian, be like, okay, I don't believe in Buddhism. I don't believe in this. Like, let me go and find the nuggets there and see if God ordained any of these things. And he did, because the scriptures talk a lot about getting quiet, going into your prayer closet. The scripture talks a lot about meditation, a lot about breathing, a lot about setting your vision and writing it down, making it plain. Like, a lot of that is in there. And I feel like we as people, especially as Christians, are so quick to write things off, write people off, write thoughts off, instead of saying, let me glean a little bit of something from that. And so that is really what the book is for. Those who really want to take a hard, honest look at themselves, admit that what I'm doing is not working. Like, if I really sit down and think about it, am I that much better in 2026 than I was in 2025? What are we going to do about it? And that is who the book is for. And that's why the planner comes with it, because it's like, okay, you learn all these foundational things. Now let's go and put pedal to the metal and get the stuff done.
Okay, so that was so good. You said two things. I'm gonna talk through two points that you said. The one of the things you talked about is being open-minded. And so one thing that we know, like, God is our ultimate creator. He is the supreme God. And everything else is just an imitation. So we've allowed other religions to take ownership of concepts that are biblically sound, and they are in the Bible. What makes them different is to whom you are serving. Now, are you you're not calling out to Buddha. You're not calling out to, we are honoring and recognizing our source and the power. And so I love that you talk through that, because we have allowed, as Christians, other religions to take ownership of what's written and
Mhm.
scripted in our words. So I just had to touch on that. So I'm glad that you talked about those things. And then you said something about empty promises. Listen, I mean, I promise you,
Mhm.
I am the same way. I am in by definition, I'm a minister at my church, and I hear things and I see things and I have vision. And I really don't like when people look, this is just my pet peeve. I'm like, God didn't give you nothing else with that. Like, you don't got no instructions. I'm like, that's it. That's all you got for me. So I usually, if the Lord does put somebody on my heart, I just have to get that tidbit out. Like,
Yes.
I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna press in, and I'm gonna say, okay, God, well, how do I give this information? Is there a strategy? And the strategy
Right.
sometimes might be, hey, go take this and pray and fast on this for 3 days, right?
Mhm.
But I love that you talked about that. So thank you just for thinking outside of the box and giving us your wisdom. What they say, like, eat the meat and spit out the bones,
There
right?
you go.
Eat the meat and spit out the bones. Okay. So my next question, what are the top 3 takeaways that you would like readers to walk away with, like once they finish your book, and hopefully get the planner too, because
Mhm.
I'm gonna drop the link on Amazon where you can get our book in just a minute. Can you
Mhm.
talk through that? Because sometimes we're like, okay, oh, and I did want to say that really quickly, y'all, it's a quick read.
Mhm.
And I love that because we
Yeah.
get a lot of our authors, they're like they're looking at some of these authors that got ghostwriters. First of all, they got ghostwriters. They didn't even write their book. Hello, somebody. I know this. I'm in the industry. And
Mhm.
we're thinking our books got to be 150, 250 pages. And I'm telling y'all, ain't nobody gonna finish that. Ain't nobody gonna read all that. So I just wanted to say that it's a really solid, quick, to the point read. So okay, go ahead. So what are the like 3 things you would like readers to walk away with?
I think the first thing is that you're not going to get it perfect on the right at the onset, right? And so you're gonna, and this is what we do a lot. So we watch the video, we see, okay, I need to do all these things, and we set up on Monday morning to do all the things. I'm getting up at 6. I'm drinking my water. I'm going outside to get my sunshine. I'm taking my vitamins. And then when one thing, I'm going to exercise. I'm a meal. I'm doing. And then when one thing falls down, then the whole thing crashes, and we're back where we started from. So I think it's really important for us to give ourselves permission to fail, because failing is learning. And what's important is that you just keep at it. So I say that's like the overarching mindset of everything. Like, progress means something. As long as you're better today than you were yesterday, then you are a winner. You just keep on going. Also, we don't take enough time to be quiet with ourselves. And I'm guilty of this as well. It's almost like we're afraid of what we're going to find out if we just slow down for a minute. But there is something magical about that Franklin Covey Big Rocks concept of putting the first thing first and getting up. You just spend a couple times with God. Just a couple minutes with God, a couple minutes with yourself, quiet, set your attention for the day. You would be surprised at how much easier, how much flow you're in just from setting that intention at the onset. So I would say that that's really important, is getting that quiet time. I know it is hard to do, but it is so important. It only takes like 3 to 5 minutes, but it is so important. And then another piece that which goes right along with it is gratitude. When I look into a lot of the most successful people and the habits that they have, it is being thankful. And so I think if we can take those 3 nuggets away, number one, you're not perfect, and progress is more important than perfection. 2, your quiet time. And 3, what, gratitude. Those are the top 3 things I would love people to take away. I can't hear you, Chanel.
Look, I want to put myself on mute so I won't hear my oohs and ahs, because I'm over here like, oh yes. This was so good, and thank you for sharing those things. I know that my struggle is number 2, getting quiet.
Yeah.
Just because my day starts with getting 4 kids out the door
Mhm.
in the morning, and so it's like I'm waking up to mommy, 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 come on, down, put the clothes on. All right. What,
Yeah.
you know? And so I have to be intentional. So one of the things that I started doing was getting my coffee. And after I do that, I'm gonna sit down behind. I got a table back there. I sit
Yeah.
back there behind there, and I drink my coffee. And that's my time to kind of decompress and set my
Mhm.
intention. So I put
Mhm.
a ritual to it, so I can make sure that I do it. And then you also talked about be okay with not getting it right the first time, y'all. That is a whole word. Last night, Adria, I taught a class. I have a class called the Business of Books Accelerator, where I
Mhm.
teach people how to basically turn their book, their knowledge into a business, like a business around it. And so I was giving them a class on utilizing paid traffic
Mhm.
to set up their offers. And a
Mhm.
lot of people get scared around paid traffic. So I went through this whole thing. I've been running paid traffic for years,
Mhm.
probably about a decade at this point. And one of the first thing I told him, I said, I'm about to give you a lot of information, and a lot of this is going to be foreign, but
Mhm.
be okay if you're like, I got to go back through this. I
Yes.
need to revisit this one
Mhm.
more time. And so I wanted to kind of talk through that part of being okay. If you could just shed some light on being okay with, like, what you said progress is
Progress is better than perfection.
yeah, can you talk through that? Because I feel like that's where a lot of people lose momentum. They're
Yeah.
excited to start. And then once they hit a roadblock, it's like, oh, well, maybe God didn't tell me to do it. I'm always talking to people, maybe it's not the right time. Like, can you talk to that?
We do too much. So we do too much. We get hot out the gate and we lose our steam. I mean, life is a marathon, not a sprint. You need to find your pace and keep your pace. The best way to wear yourself out is to be high one day and low the next day. This is not good. It's not, this is the problem. You know, I am an environmentalist. This is the problem with our world right now because of climate change. You see how cold it is in the morning and how hot it is in the evening. That disparity is not, it adds a lot of stress to our world, and it adds a lot of stress to our body. When we're happy, then we're sad. We're moving, then we're stagnant. You need to find a comfortable pace and set it low. Like, I'm not going to try to get 18 tasks done today. Today, I'm going to try to get 2 done. And I'm going to be proud of those 2, right? And I'm going to consistently, for a week, get 2 tasks done. Then I built that muscle, right? Now I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do 3. If I try to do 3 and I see myself falling off, I'm back to 2. Let me get 2 back, right? Life is a marathon, not a sprint. You find what you can do and you keep doing that, and you slowly add on things. Because, and we teach this in the hair care industry a lot. I see a lot of my clients who want to take their hair care from 0 to 100 instantly. So what do? They go to Ulta, Sephora, Target, buy all these products. They use them all at one time. If their routine gets better or worse, they don't know which thing is responsible for that because you're doing too much. Your best bet is to layer in one new product at a time, one new methodology at a time, and see if it's working or not. So I think that's what we do. We try to throw in the whole kitchen sink. We read the book and we try to do all the tips at one time. Layer in your most important things, layer in your gratitude, right? Get your intention, get your foundation straight, and then add in a new tip, a new process, a little bit at a time, get a couple tasks done, be consistent, build that momentum. And that way you're able to, because one of your biggest ways to succeed is being proud of yourself at the end of the day. You can't be proud of yourself in the day if you set 18 tasks done and you only got 2 done. Set the bar a little bit lower, go to bed as a winner. You'll have that motivation to do a little bit more the next day.
I wanna thank you for explaining that, because I'm always talking to people as well. I'm like, okay, just pick one thing. Can we finish one thing? Can we get one thing going? And so that, like you said the exact same words that I use. You got to build a muscle. And
Mhm.
then once you find success there, it's almost like it's a faith push.
There you
It's
go.
like it like pushes you to keep going. Oh well, if I can do that,
Then I could do this.
then I can do this.
There you
So
go.
Oh, I see some comments. Someone said, uh that has been my problem. I jumped on and heard exactly what you needed to hear. Exactly. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, we try to do everything, and I feel like social media makes
Yes.
us feel like we got to come out the
Rebelling.
door perfect.
Yep.
Can you talk about that? Like, how do you get the mindset to be okay with doing the one thing or mastering the one thing first? Or getting used to doing the one thing or the few things. Maybe it's not one. I mean, we're
Yeah.
multi-gifted, but the few things. Can you talk about that?
Well, the first thing we should know about social media, because I post a lot on social media, and let me let y'all know, and you guys may know this already, but that 30-second clip, that perfect clip that I put of my bedtime routine, took me 6 or 7 hours to shoot. And so even trying to shoot that routine was met with failure, 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 failure. But y'all only saw that 30-second clip that looked like, oh, a nighttime routine is perfect. Very rarely is my nighttime routine perfect. It's a work in progress. And so just know that what you see on social media is not true. And you have to like run your own race, live in your own lane. As long as I just really reiterate that as long as you are better today than you were yesterday, you are winning. And even if you're not, you take a minute to recognize the things that you need to do to improve. That's why each day in my planner is a moment for us to reflect. Things that went well today, things that did not go well today. Most importantly, what am I going to change? And as long as you are able to get a little bit better than you were yesterday, then you are winning.
That's good. I see Misty A. Brown made a comment, and I'm gonna post it up here because this was
Yeah.
so good. She said it becomes so overwhelming because one thinks we're being lazy or not fulfilling our God-given assignment. Just because the Lord shows us now doesn't mean it's happening now.
There you go. If you look
That's
at so many of our heroes in the Bible, Abraham, Isaac. I'm reading now about Paul, and the way that I was taught in church. Okay, Paul went to jail. Blah 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 blah. Paul was in jail for years. Paul was in jail for years, and so we need to get out of this mindset that it's going to be instant gratification. The Lord works through you, and it takes time. It takes time for a diamond to become a diamond, right? And it happens a little bit over time, and what happens is that if you were to really pay attention at that piece of coal that's becoming a diamond and you really look at it, you can see these little changes that are happening over time. But it's so easy for you to miss that and you just think, oh, once a coal, now a diamond. Like, no, that took time. And what we have to do is we have to get in tune with ourselves and be peaceful and generous and honor ourselves to where we can really see, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, okay, I am doing this now, and recognize those little bitty changes because you'll just miss it. You'll just miss it. And what's the worst thing to me as an entrepreneur? Because I work so hard, is when other people recognize you before you recognize yourself. They're like, oh my God, you're living the American dream. And you yourself were ready to give up earlier this morning. And someone else has to tell you how much you've accomplished because you're not taking enough time to see it within yourself.
And thank you so much for just kind of diving into that. And I want to mention something, and then I'll get to like our last few questions. I because this is important. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Okay. I know that there are moments where I feel myself because I start feeling overwhelmed, right? Overstimulated.
Yeah.
And then I pause and I say, oh my gosh, God, thank you. I slip into a posture of gratitude and instantly
Instantly.
things start changing because my perspective changes because I'm like, I'm living in answered prayers from
Yes.
5, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's easy because a lot of us on here, we're strivers. We're
Mhm.
striving. We're just gonna keep striving for the next thing, keep striving for the
Yep.
next thing. So I'm glad you talked about, you should be able to recognize the greatness
Hmm.
that you're walking in. And
Yeah.
so I guess going back to your book in the planner, can you talk through like what the sections do, like how they help you navigate through your life so we can put these things into practice?
Yeah, so I love the planner so much. It's the planner that I wish I had. So I'm so glad that I was given the opportunity to work with you guys to actually build it. What the planner does is it starts out with you setting your mission, and it walks you through how to get in alignment so that you know what you were put on this earth to do. So it walks through some exercises for you to figure that out. And then it walks you through setting your affirmations based on that mission, right? And so, in those affirmations, and I divide the book up, or these phases up, into what I call health pillars. So you have a physical health pillar, you have a spiritual health pillar, you have a service health pillar, you have a relational health pillar, and you want to be healthy in all seven of those aspects to be completely healthy. And so when you realize what your mission is, then your affirmations should be lined up with those pillars. And so if my mission is to help women become the best versions of themselves, what are my financial affirmations? What are my physical affirmations? What are my relational affirmations? And they all lead up to that. And then, and only then, do you create your vision board. And so after you're able to actually see who you want to be, then you can put yourself in the mindset of that person, and you have your financial affirmations. And so now you know what photos to go and find that represent who you want to be. And what I see often when people do their vision boarding is that they do it backwards. They just go find some pretty pictures on the internet, and then they wonder why they're not looking at it every day. But when you, the whole purpose of vision boarding from a neurological point of view is the Tesla effect, or the bug effect. So you know how you never would have seen a VW bug on the road or a Tesla on the road, but the minute you buy one, all of a sudden you see one everywhere. You never would have seen a red dress until you wear one, until you're looking for one. All of a sudden you see it. And that's how our reticular activating system works. And so once you have these photos, these images in your mind, it's like having an assistant working with you. That assistant is looking for those opportunities now. And so you've told your mind, and so you've gotten in sync with God. This is my mission. Now you've gone and set these intentions. You have your vision board. You're looking at it every single day. Now you know what opportunities to say yes to and no to every day. When things come your way, you're like that. You instantly know that does not line up with what I'm supposed to be doing. Nope, I'm supposed to be doing this, this, this. This is taking me in the other direction. And then now life just becomes easy. You don't have to stress yourself out trying to make decisions. You are honestly grateful now because you're living in your purpose, and everything just flows. And so that's what the planner does, is that it sets up that framework for you. And then now you have your daily planner, and it walks you through every day. What are you grateful for? What is your focus for today? Here's your affirmation. And then at the end of that, you reflect and you say, well, things went well today. Things did not go well today. What am I going to change? Rinse and repeat. Easy cadence, stay consistent, build that momentum, be grateful, be proud of yourself, and you just keep doing it. And then what I love about a journal so much, like you were saying, Chanel, is that you'll be thinking, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Blah, 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 blah. You can flip back to January and see where you were. You see that prayer that you had has been answered, and that helps to build that momentum.
Okay, so I have two real quick questions. So before we close, and this has just been a phenomenal interview. Um, what made you decide to work with Beyond the Book Media to publish your books and to help you bring your vision to life?
Again, this happened so organically, as you know. So we were
Yes.
on a call about a completely different topic, right?
Yes.
Because I had set my vision. I had my vision board set last year.
Yeah.
I was going to become an author. And then and I'm looking at my vision board every single day. And so because of that, I didn't have to go out and even find you. You found me.
I did.
That is how it works. That is how it works. I did not have to put a task on my task list. I mean, it was coming up later, but because my reticular activating system and God together, who designed my reticular activating system, is working on my behalf. And so I'm in alignment with what I'm supposed to do. Therefore, these things are just working in my favor.
Ooh, You just answered. This is beautiful on both ends because it's why we need to be operating in our gifts and
That's
be
right.
obedient
That's
so
right.
that we can show up for the people that need us and
Correct.
we can equally give and serve
Exactly.
to each other. So I love that. Okay, I know we're coming to the end. So a few I know everyone wants to know. I did drop the link to her book. You can get the book on Amazon. Let's talk about how can people connect? How can people get the planner?
Yes.
Your website, all of those things, because I'm going to drop this in the chat. And if you are just now coming in, you need to go back and watch from the beginning because this has been a phenomenal conversation.
Thank you so much. So yes, you can get the book on Amazon. It will soon be available on my website over the weekend, hopefully. And my website is adriamarshall.com. Also, the planner is in the final stages of printing. It should be available in 2 weeks. And what's great about this planner is that it is a disc planner, which means that you can customize it. So even though we're almost in March, you can start the planner in March, April, May, whenever you want to start, and you can make the planner your own. So that is so amazing about the planner. So the book and the planner will be available on Amazon and on my website at adriamarshall.com. And you guys can follow me on social media on TikTok and Instagram at I am Adria Marshall.
Okay, thank you so much. I just dropped the links in the chat, and y'all, the planner, it was so creative. It's actually a very unique planner, the first of its kind that we've had the privilege of producing. And I love how wherever you are, you can
Yes.
grab it and what how your brain works. So I'm excited to see the planner in its totality in a few weeks. So, well, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Guys, we're going to have more of these. So just be on the lookout. And everyone, please go support, follow. Y'all, at the very least, I need everybody to grab your book. The Kindle version is only $9.99. Okay. So you can get started on these principles today for
Yes.
$9.99, right? So thank you so much, Adria. It's been a privilege and an honor to speak with you and work with you.
Thank you so much. It's been great working with you as well.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye bye.
Bye.